Hi, I'm Pav.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to the Top 10 of Anything podcast.
Let's start the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whether you're paddling in a warm blue sea, lapping on a sandy white beach, or enjoying the hustle and bustle of a major city, or just grabbing fish and chips on the pier of your favourite seaside town, everyone has a dream holiday destination. Some are only available if you win the lottery, some can be on your doorstep. Here's our best fact hunter Neil with his top 10 dream holiday destination facts.
Thank you very much, Pav. So here we go. So number one, over 25% of all emails are sent during people's holidays. Now, on holiday, we all love a 99 or Mr. Whippy. Well, the largest scoop of ice cream ever weighed was over 3,000 pounds. How did you find that, Pav?
Cheeky bastard.
The world's largest ship, the Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas ship. The World Harmony of the Seas is composed of 18 decks and is around 1,200 feet long. Now, a football field is 100 yards long, which is 300 feet, making the ship 4 times the size of the turf where your favorite team plays. Now, the Lexus Hibiscus Port Dickson in Malaysia, the resort there has a record-setting 643 swimming pools.
Oh. Whoops. Oh. I knew it wouldn't go right.
The most expensive country to visit, according to Booking.com, is Paris, France, where you can spend over £400 on one meal.
On one meal?
On one meal. Now, the largest commercial aircraft is the Airbus A380 and comes in at an incredible 80-meter wingspan and 73-meter length and can seat 853 passengers at once.
Oh, bollocks.
Now, before COVID hit the Brits, favourite holiday destination abroad was Spain and the Spanish Highlands. And while we're all pretty much vacationing in the UK at the moment, the most popular destination is Cornwall. There's a new thing called dark tourism, and it's becoming very popular. It's where you get to visit previous no-go areas like Burma, North Korea, and Colombia and enjoy the experiences there.
I thought you were going to say Birmingham then when you said
And the most popular theme park in the world is Walt Disney World in Florida. In 2019, it had 21 million visitors.
Look at that. I was one of them.
Yeah, you were.
Is that it, Neil?
That's it. That's your
Thank
10.
you very much for that, Neil. That's wonderful. Welcome to the Top 10 of Anything podcast. I'm here, as you just heard, with our wonderful fact hunter, Neil. Hello, Neil.
Hello, Pav.
And we are joined by someone, the queen of the airwaves, many have said, in radio circles.
You.
She's been me. I just did. And she's been a friend of ours way back in the Pancast days. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Claire Carter is with us. Hello, Claire.
Hooray. Hello. It's
Claire.
so lovely to see you guys. It has been a wait. How long has it been? I can't remember. It was when I did that quiz up against Nibsy.
That's right.
Oh, cripes.
And I can't.
Yeah.
That must have been about 5 years ago.
Yeah. So it must have been. But didn't you come? You came in and did the Pancast show on a Thursday, didn't you? Didn't you come and do the radio show
after that? That was not before that.
The Pancast was before.
That was before, and then you did
because I'd moved to Somerset by the time I did the Nibsy. Anyway, it's been far too long, but you guys are still doing great things.
It has been far too long, and you know. The fact that we had this idea for a podcast and that we could get someone like yourself to come and join us makes it even better for us. So we've always had fun with you, Claire. So, let's see if we can carry on that fun. The pressure, indeed. So we're here to find our 10 dream holiday destinations. Did you have trouble compiling your top 10?
I had loads of trouble, mainly because I this sounds awful. I haven't done a load of traveling because while I was at uni, I jumped straight into the BBC. When loads of my friends left uni, they all went traveling. You know, they did the Australia thing and Thailand and all that kind of stuff. I didn't. I just went hell for leather into work. And I mean, that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we've had the pandemic. And so I've not been to many places. So I would just go anywhere. And especially now after the pandemic, get me a ticket anywhere and I'm off. So I did find this quite hard. And I feel like I want to say I reserve the right. I know we're doing it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, but all of these could be my number one. Do you know what I mean? I think all of them could in their own sweet way. So but it was good fun.
Good. So just picking up on something you just said. So that was 15 years ago. So that means you were 10 when you went to uni.
Oh, isn't he a charmer?
You're such a charmer. These bags for life, I think, say it all themselves. So yeah, thank you.
Right, we shall crack on, shall we? So I will say as well, my top 10 has got a lot of places that I have already visited.
Because you want to go back.
And I want to go back, yeah.
Okay.
And some of them are also childhood, so they mean a lot to me emotionally, if that makes sense.
Oh, am I going to cry?
With laughter, probably, more than anything else.
Or with shock.
Or with shock,
yeah.
I mean, there is one in my top 10 that will be close to your heart, Claire. Let me just say that. So, and now you're shocked. Now you're worried. You're worried that I've been rifling in and stuff, don't you? That's what you're worried.
How do you know?
Well, exactly.
When I first saw the list, I thought it was going to be really easy. And then I struggled for ages, kept changing my mind. No, I want to go there. I want to go there.
Yeah, exactly.
The top 100, shouldn't
I also didn't want to be cliched, but I think with some of them, I've ended up being the cliche.
I think so. And I think also it's the fact that some of the, well, I'm talking personally, some of them are cities, some of them are areas, some of them are specific places. So it's a mishmash of everything.
Yeah.
That's
it's a holiday destination, isn't it? It could be a country, it could be a town.
Well, thank you for that clarification, Neil.
Just making it easy on you, Pav.
Now, where are those eggs so I can suck on them? Just so that. Right, Claire, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is Sancerre.
Oh.
So one of the things that I realised after I'd left uni is I not only loved wine, I love learning about wine. I did a couple of tours to Champagne with a dear friend of mine called Mary, who speaks fluent French. Tip 1, go with somebody who can speak the language. But I had no knowledge of wine really whatsoever. I'd never done a wine tour before. And we went to Champagne and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the history of it all, how it was put together, the tours that we did in the caves. And since then, I've loved wine holidays. Even recently, I was only at Three Choirs Vineyard in Newark. And again, just seeing the vineyards, going around, the factory bit where it's factory, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Clearly I'm learning loads, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's amazing how it can completely change your view of wine and what you like and what you don't like. And Sancerre has always been a family favorite of ours. We do love a good bottle of Sancerre, so I would love to go there.
Okay, I think you'll find it's factoire, not factory.
Factoire.
I think you'll find
factory.
Yes, factory. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you spell that? Just so that I know when I get the photo for YouTube.
Sancerre. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Sancerre.
Lovely. Thank you. Okay, Neil, you're number 10.
Fiji.
Oh, nice.
I mean, there's not a lot you can say to that, but it just looks like paradise, doesn't it? It really does look like paradise. And I'm not particularly bothered where I go in Fiji, as long as I can just do one of those lovely little huts on the desert island and have the place to myself. I think just be pure bliss.
Now, is that where they got mountains in Fiji?
You're thinking of Mount Fiji in Japan, aren't you?
Ah, right. There you go. See, I'm an expert at French, but
my best mate got engaged in Fiji, and she's got that classic beautiful shot that somebody took of them with the sea behind them. They're on the beach, he's on his knee, and it's just it was all lovely. She loves it. She says it's one of her favorite places in the world.
Apparently every beach is beautiful there. There's no such thing as a duff beach. So I just think it looks such a relaxing place to visit. Send me there now if you like.
Fiji. Okay, lovely. Okay, my number 10 is anywhere with a hot tub. That's basically my number 10. I don't
so next door.
Yeah. There's something about hot tubs. It doesn't matter whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether it's lovely and sunny. If you get in a hot tub, everything is right with the world. And if we had a bigger back garden, I would definitely save up to buy a hot tub.
I don't know how I feel about the old hot tub, because you are, in a sense, just sitting in your own filth, aren't you, with other people?
I'm used to that. I mean, that's just a normal day.
It's quite close proximity, isn't it? You're quite close. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it depends who you're in there with. I would like my own hot tub. I don't want anyone else in there.
Oh, right, fine.
Claire, it's my hot tub. You get your own hot tub. It's my hot tub, okay?
But aren't they a lot of faff when you actually own one? Aren't they a lot of faff?
They probably are, Neil. And I would probably use it once and never use it again, and it would go mouldy and would pop, and it would be one of those pop-up.
Well, I'll tell you what, once a week I'll buy you a 4-pack of beans and fill the bath up for you, pal. All right?
Thank you very much.
There you go, an old classic joke.
An old classic joke. Okay, Claire, you're number 9.
New Zealand.
Okay.
New Zealand for me, I think maybe controversial, I don't know. New Zealand first over Australia, because I've never been to either. And there is just something, I think it was probably the day that I sat down and watched every single Lord of the Rings extended edition in one day.
Wow.
I was just, I know, it was a long day. I was blown away by the scenery, and I just love the look of it. I know some people say it is, or it can be quite similar to some of the landscape that we have here. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's sort of more green and, you know,
Yeah.
but I like that. That speaks to me. And I think I'd fit in well there. I think I'd do well in New Zealand.
And over Australia, it doesn't have any of the venomous animals and poisonous things.
That's why I would do well.
I
can't deal with the creepy crawlers.
Okay. Why haven't they got venomous animals?
Support.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But isn't it right next to Australia? Why wouldn't it have the same climate?
Say like it's parked right next door, like a mile.
Well, it is though, isn't it?
No, it's quite a distance, I believe, and it's further down.
You see them all there in Australia waiting to get on the ferry.
Just waving at everybody across. It's like looking from Bristol across to Wales.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. Okay, as you've probably guessed now that like geography is not my strong suit. Right, and Neil, you're number 9.
Brazil. Now, I put it generically.
Where the nuts come from.
Yes, exactly. Okay. I put it generically because I'd love to do the Copacabana and all the beach and the festivals and everything as well. But I'd also like to do the rainforest tour. I would find that most amazing to go and see the beauty of the rainforest, especially as they're being so depleted at the moment. So
I was going to say it probably only take about half an hour. A little bit political there. A little bit political, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
I can't comment. Can't comment.
No, don't comment.
But I just
is that where the Brazil nut comes from?
It is, yeah.
It is.
Isn't it?
Just so I check.
Nut, am I right in thinking it's a nut that's pooed out of an animal and they have to wait and... Am I right in thinking that?
What, in that shell?
Yeah. I might be wrong.
Dear me.
I might be wrong.
That's a hard pass, that is.
Is that why they're covered in chocolate? The Brazil nuts. Is that what it is?
But there was a scarcity, wasn't there, recently of Brazil nuts? So like when you got nuts from whatever supermarket, you wouldn't have any Brazils in there.
Oh, right.
The trick that my dad always used to make us try and do, because he used to sit every Christmas and he sits there with a piece of paper catching all the loose shells and he'd break them. When you got a whole nut from cracking the shell and you didn't break the nut, magical. It's just magical.
Wow.
Anyways, that's what we get from Brazil.
Yeah, I'm only going there to get the nuts.
I'm sure you can get nuts closer to home than that, Neil.
Allegedly.
Right, my number 9 is the one that I think is close to your heart, Claire.
Ooh, okay.
It's Breen in Somerset.
Oh my god, I've got the funniest story to tell you about Breen. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, well, it's a place that I've been going to as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, as a dad, and as a granddad. So I've been going there for, let me see, at least probably 48 years I've been going to Breen.
Wowza.
Because we went to Unity Farm, which when we first went was one field and one toilet hut, which is now like Disney World. It's just grown and grown and grown. It's one of those places that we still, if we fancy going to the seaside for the day, it will either be Western Supermare or it will be Breen.
Everything ends in Somerset. People need to realise this eventually.
It does, and it's a lovely beach. Obviously, the water's a little bit of a funny colour, but the beach is fantastic.
Yeah.
It has the best fish and chips. Absolutely, the best fish and chips ever. Sod the cod, my dad calls it, is in Breen, and it's it's a place that I just love that place. It's but there you go. So what's your funny story about Breen?
So you know Breen Down?
Yeah.
The walk that you can do down to the fort. Years ago when I first moved here, they wanted to highlight the fact, because it's National Trust, in certain National Trust places you can hire trampers, basically these really hearty mobility scooters that can deal with the rough terrain, and they wanted to publicize that these trampers were now available at Breen Down. So it's great for people with a disability to get down to the fort so that they can enjoy it as well. So they said, we'll allow you to drive these trampers and test them out, and you can do a bit for the radio. But I thought, brilliant, this is great fun. So there's this picture of me and my colleague Andy. We're on these trampers. My God, do they move? Like they're massive things. It was great fun. Anyway, what they didn't hear and what no one ever knew was that I lost control of mine. And I reckon I came about this close to falling off the edge and to losing this tramper over the side of Breen Down. And my colleague Andy said to me, he just went, I've never been so scared in all of my life that you were going to die whilst riding a tramp, whilst riding this like mobility scooter on Breen Down. So yeah, but I don't think they ever found out.
Well, they did now. They do now when they when they do this. And I've got somewhere in the sand dunes of Breen is all of mine and my brother's Star Wars figures. Back from when we were, so this would have been 1978, probably 1980, something like that. We were playing on the sand dunes, pretending it was Tatooine. So playing with our little 3¼ inch Star Wars figures. Our mum calls us for dinner, so we go for dinner, come back and forget where they were. And we left them all there. And I don't know whether someone picked them up or whether they just got buried.
That will be a news story one day. Someone will find them. They'll go, who's left this? And I'll be like, I know the answer. I've got the story. Give me that interview.
Well, please let me know if that ever happens, because I want them back. They're worth a fortune. Yeah.
I'm going really dark, aren't I?
No, that's fine.
No, you're all right.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
is that better?
That's lovely.
That's lovely.
There you go. Better.
Right, Claire, you're number 8.
My number 8 is, I've forgotten. This I think is a bit cliche. Northern Lights. Take me anywhere so that I can see, but I want to be guaranteed to see the Northern Lights. That's what I want.
Right. Is it possible to be guaranteed to see the Northern Lights, or is it like?
But this is my dream holiday list. So
absolutely. No,
my dream can come true. I'm being really annoying here, aren't I? I'm going to have to go back because I've got nothing steady to put my laptop on. Yeah, Northern Lights. I've always wanted to see them. I think hasn't everybody. And maybe Iceland. I hear that's quite good fun. But
quite
yeah,
a good success rate, isn't it? They're seeing them in Iceland, apparently.
I remember there was a great series that Joanna Lumley did years and years and years ago when she went in search for them. I think it was Joanna Lumley.
Absolutely
captivated.
They
just, they went to see it. Her and Eddie went to see the Northern Lights. They had a bottle of Verve. And so Northern Lights, I just think, is probably on everybody's list at some stage, isn't it? To see those would be amazing.
Yeah, it's not on mine.
Apparently, you can see them from some locations in Scotland.
Yeah.
Really?
So as close as that to home. There you go. Yeah, apparently.
Oh, the Aurora Borealis.
What are you talking about?
It is something like that. The Aurora
Borealis.
It is something like that.
A spell out of Harry Potter.
Yes. Something like that.
Leviosa.
Yeah, that's the one.
It is Aurora.
Aurora Borealis, something like that, isn't it? I'm sure it is.
Aurora Polaris or Aurora Borealis.
There you go.
You're right.
There you
Well
go. Thank
done,
you.
pal.
Thank
Have
you
an
very
extra
much,
point.
everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Neil, you're number 8.
Right, it's in Sri Lanka and it's called the Gal Oa National Park Resort. Now, this is one of those national parks where you have a hut is your room, and you have each person has an individual like hot tub for you, pab, and everything. But the animals roam wild, so you get your lions, your elephants, and everything, and they come up to the room. And I only learned of this place. I was flicking through YouTube of luxury resorts to try and get some ideas, and it came up, and I just fell in love with it. I thought, no, there's a place I could go. Although the warnings, be careful of snakes and lions, was a bit worrying, but I'll just stay in the hot tub and feed the elephant.
Crying out loud. See, that's the thing that would put me off. Anytime there's a warning of lions
and snakes.
And snakes. I mean, snakes and lions.
Yeah.
Lions, I feel you would have more warning. Snakes, can't do. No way. No way.
You wouldn't know. You sat on that toilet and you.
Well, they don't go in the huts. Apparently, it does say they're very safe with that. You have to be careful when you're walking the paths, as if you wanted to go to the restaurant or whatever. No. But it did say they do a sweep every morning and evening to clear out any snakes.
Brilliant.
Somebody's paid for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but it does. If I would say, have a look.
It's human error. I'm sorry. Someone might not be on the ball, and there'll be a snake in your room. There's a snake in my boot. As once,
I'd still go.
I'm sure you would. It's your dream, Neil. That's it's your dream. So that's fine. Okay, my number 8 is quite a generic one. It may possibly be on your guys' list. Is New York. Now.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's fine.
Literally my favorite place in the world.
Right. I've been to New York. We went to New York in January 2002, so I was obviously, what was that, 3 months after 9/11. And I remember getting to Gatwick or Heathrow, wherever it was we flew from, and we were flying on an American Airlines plane, and it freaked me the fuck out. I just didn't know what to do. It's an amazing place. One thing I've always said to people when they've told me what is New York like, I said it's not built to take children. I didn't find.
I agree.
There were no public toilets. Like, you had to go and buy something in a Starbucks to use their toilet and stuff like that. I'm very toilet heavy when it comes to going places. So, but saying that, it was amazing to just drive around. I don't know if I've told this story on the Pancast before, but I decided that we were going to get a stretch limo to drive us around Manhattan. So they asked how long you wanted it for, and I got the concierge of the hotel. I said, just like 3 hours. 3 hours is fine. He said that's $100, obviously plus tip. I went, excellent, that's fantastic. So we went and did it. Everywhere we stopped, the driver says, do you want to stop here? Yeah, that's fine. Obviously people will be looking when we got out of the car, thinking, oh my god, these people must be famous. Stop off at Rockefeller Center and all this. The 3 hours went, we came back, and the guy said, yeah, that's $300, please, plus tip. And I didn't realize it was $100 per hour. So I'm there on the bonnet writing out traveler's checks as quickly as I could, going to my wife, have you got any money? Have you got any money? Because I didn't have any.
I love that, traveler's checks. That just goes to show you how old that is.
Yeah. But it is an amazing place. Yeah. So
I had to fight every urge not to put it on my list, but I've been 3 times. I actually went to New York twice in 5 months because I didn't have the heart to tell one friend that I was already going earlier on in the year. And she was desperate to go, and I was like, I'll just go again. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Okay, so Neil, you haven't got it in your top 10 either?
No, I haven't actually. I forgot about that one.
Okay.
Because I've never been yet.
No. Well, we've got an
open invitation.
A steak meal ready for us from a wise guy, haven't we? As soon as
we certainly
go to. But enough of that. Anyway, Claire, you're number 7.
My number 7 is Nashville.
Ooh.
Now, I love my music, and country music is definitely something that I've grown more in love with as I've gotten older. And the reason why I struggle with Nashville, and I always feel bad putting it at number 7 because I feel like it should be higher, but the only thing that I fear with Nashville is I've spoken to some people who have been, and they say that it can in some respects be a little bit, not on the tacky side, but I think, in these places obviously latch on to the tourism that they can get, and, but for me, I just think to go to the home of country music, it's just been a place I've always wanted to see and go. And just that coolness of you pop into a bar and there's someone singing with a guitar and a cajon or whatever, and you can just sit and listen and drink and have a wonderful life. That's what I think.
I will concur and say it's a fantastic place. I've actually been to Nashville.
Oh, so is it worth it?
Yeah, definitely. I did the Memphis and Nashville, so I did the two together. I think I preferred Memphis just a little bit because it was more my sort of music. But it was great going to like the Grand Ole Opry and everything. It was so much fun. So much fun. Even though I had no idea who they were. Apparently they were famous, but I had no idea who was singing. But yeah, it's a great laugh. And I've never felt, it's one of the most welcoming places in America I've ever been. They were great. They loved me.
I feel bad it's number 7 now. But yeah, Nashville for sure.
Yeah. And Neil, I think you'll find it's pronounced opera. Not
what did I say? Opry?
Yeah.
It's Opry, isn't it?
I'm just joking. I want to see
I wonder what you're on about.
It's the Grand Ole Opera, I think.
Yeah, no, that's in this country.
Okay, nice. Neil, number 7.
Canada, eh?
Oh.
I want to go. I'm not too sure which part of Canada. I think I could quite happily do it all, but I want to see the Rockies. I want to see the whale watching. I want to do, go into the middle of nowhere, and I just want to do it all. I think it looks so amazing, and everybody I've spoken to that's ever done it said it's been the best holiday they've ever done.
I have been to Canada.
Yeah.
And I went to Quebec. Is that right? Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Because it's the French part of Canada. Celine.
Yeah.
But I may as well have just gone to France.
Right.
I'm a terrible skier. Found out I couldn't ski. The snow was shit because it was end of season.
Oh.
And yeah, Quebec is I think it is very different to other parts. So I would probably say don't go to Quebec. No offense to anyone from Quebec. It's a great place, lovely people. Yeah, but it's just France.
Yeah, I have heard that. No, I'm more interested in the countryside of Canada.
All of our Quebec listeners just went, Mon Dieu.
Yeah, that's it. Hate mail coming through.
We shall redirect it to you, Claire. Don't worry, that's fine. Right, my number 7 is Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
I've seen a few videos of vloggers when they've been to Hawaii, and they've got things like Jurassic Park tours where you can see where they filmed all of that. But again, it just looks like one of those places that looks like you could live there. Do you know what I mean? It looks like it's just so serene and beautiful. And the fact that even if you worked in an office there and you looked out your window and you saw the beautiful mountains and stuff, it'd be just beautiful to be able to wake up to that kind of thing. So there isn't any other specific. See, I don't know about you. When I go on holidays, I like to do things and go and see places. I'm not
isn't it?
Well, but I'm not particularly one for just sitting on a beach or sitting by a swimming pool for 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? because I feel like I want to be doing something. I want to be going to see things. So even with Hawaii, I don't think I could just go there to go on the beach and sit on the beach for.
Isn't that where The Rock's from? You could go and visit his family home and everything.
I could do, or go and see Moana and see.
Do you know what I always think of with Hawaii? Did you ever see Saved by the Bell Hawaiian style?
No, I missed that one.
They did You'll regret it. Yeah. They did a feature film where they did a trip to Hawaii to see Kelly's grandfather or something. They ended up having to save his land because it was really owned by the Machu Picchu tribe or something. I don't know.
No.
But every time I think of Hawaii, I think of that. Well, they made it look pretty.
Spoilers, don't tell us whether they managed to get his land, because I'm going to be scouring Disney Plus to see if that's on there now. Okay, so Claire, you're number 6.
Oh, my number 6. My phone's gone dead. Hang on. My number 6 is, I guess almost, you mentioned it with the Northern Lights, the Scottish Highlands. And I say this for a number of reasons. I've never been to Scotland, always wanted to, and I feel guilty because that's a lie. I went to the Glasgow Commonwealth Games, but I've always wanted to explore more of Scotland, especially the Highlands. And I feel guilty considering, in reality, it is close. you know, it is one of those places that's really close. It's always looked beautiful. But I'd probably latch it on because part of my family is actually from Scotland. My grandpop's parents, his family, they all grew up and were born in Scotland. And when my grandpop died, it's awful, isn't it? When you learn so much about somebody in your family that you've known all your life, but it took for them to die for you to actually go, oh, they had a farm near Aberdeen or wherever it was.
Right.
So I'd quite like to do a lot of the Highlands, but also they used to own a farm. I think it was called Rumbling Pots. And I'd love to go and visit that farm and just tail that on the end of it and see who owns it now and see how much more I could find out about sort of the Robertson side of my family. So yeah, Highlands for sure.
I would say get on it, Claire. I love Scotland, every part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Inverness is part of the Highlands, isn't it? I think
it is. It's the gateway. Well, it's up there, right smack bang. I think it's the last city in the Highlands.
We drove up there one year for our holidays and took all the kids and had a log cabin kind of thing with a swim. Well, it wasn't our swimming pool; it was a communal swimming pool. But driving around the Highlands, it is just breathtaking. And then we went to Loch Ness. And then where you're just looking at the water, thinking there's got to be something there. I went to both museums that they've got there and came out and thought, what a swizz Nessie is. It's an absolute con. I thought, it's just a log. That's all it is a log.
I fully believe in the Loch Ness Monster. That's one of the random things that I do have. I do believe in the Loch Ness Monster, yeah. I don't know why. I just think it's quite cool to believe in that.
Yeah. I believed in it until I went to the museums. And then I thought to myself, they've not given me any information here that isn't just like a log or somebody's arm that is just like doing this and they've taken a picture of it, you know. Controversial, I know. Apologies to all the Scottish people and to Loch Ness. They've made, you know.
I feel like we're going to lose more viewers than we are gaining here.
Yeah, the way we go. The whole world.
I am gonna get some more light on my face because this is ridiculous.
That's fine.
It's gonna because it's just gonna get even darker. So I'm just gonna spin around and sit on the floor.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Look at that. There you go. Okay, Neil, you're number 6.
So Las Vegas and the Grand Canyon tour is something that is definitely on my to-do list. I'll
just say that's number 5 on my list.
Is it?
Las Vegas.
I just want to have a good old blowout in Vegas.
Yeah.
I think, you know, everybody should have money depending, but yeah, I'd love to just go and gamble away for like a whole 24 hours straight gamble session and see what happened. But also I do want to tack it in and see the Grand Canyon and everything, because that really does look impressive, doesn't it? And everybody I've spoken to that's ever done it just said it's amazing. So
before, when we were in the first lockdown, one of my friends in Gloucestershire, she phoned me up and because she loves to travel, and she just said, when we can, we're doing Vegas. It is our number one. We don't care, savings, whatever, we're going. Vegas, we're off.
Yeah.
I would have to say that if I went to Vegas, I would have to have like 2 budgets. I'd have the budget to live on and the budget to gamble.
Yeah.
Because I would be like an absolute madman just going into Vegas. I would be like just gambling on anything and my money would be gone and I would be destitute and I would be like Don Amici in Trading Places, or Coming to America, where he just sat on the side of the road asking for money. But I think Vegas is one of those places that you know that it's all show, and you know that there's not really. And oh God, we're gonna alienate our Las Vegas.
No, but
it's like got no soul, has it? It's like it's all show and flashy lights, and you know,
it still feels very man-made, doesn't it?
It's called Sin City for a reason, but you know,
that's where you go.
Yeah, but I think if it was like where money was no object, and you know, you go and stay in a really, really nice hotel and just like go and blow a few grand, just not having to worry about losing it. I think it would be one hell of a holiday. You know, I don't think you'd remember much of it afterwards, but I think it would be one hell of a holiday.
I actually think I would probably eat and drink less, because I would just live on the minimal so I could then gamble the maximum. Do you want a drink? No, just give me some water. That's fine.
You have to pick the right casinos, because a lot of them have like the free food and drink to keep you in there, so you wouldn't be paying on that. Yeah, they
And
genuinely feed you for free
amazing.
once you're gambling. So
Yeah,
we could live there, couldn't
sounds
we?
too no, yeah, and I'd probably be dead in like 6 months.
What a way to go, baby!
What a way to go! What a way to go! Right, my number
Only because the loan sharks would be after you.
yeah, exactly.
The mafia.
My number 6 is London. I love going like weekends away in London. And I'm a bit what's the word, claustrophobic when it comes to going on the tube, but I also love going around in a black taxi cab because you never know who you're going to see. It's a very small town of me, but like you walk, you're driving around London thinking, oh my god, we're going to see you, we're going to see, and then you it sounds so pathetic. And then you also got these amazing buildings that have got so much like history. I could walk around and drive around London for hours and hours and hours. So, and there's different. Obviously, you can't do everything in one weekend, but there are so many different parts of London. We've had weekends in London, haven't we?
Have you?
Yeah. Well, the Star Wars convention was that like 2016, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to go and do that. But I've also had weekends away with my wife, luckily. There's been just going sightseeing, just being a tourist, and not being apologetic about it. I think it's I love it. I love London. I really do.
I think I take London a little bit for granted now because I've been so many times and I've been up there so much. I sort of forget what it has to offer because I've probably done most of it. But I always think it's a great place to visit and a great place to leave.
Yeah, lots of people say that. Because of where I grew up in a London borough. So for me, London was where my dentist was, my orthodontist. But London was also the first place that I met Father Christmas. I remember it vividly, the Selfridges Father Christmas grotto, and I remember my mum taking me. It was a rainy day. I had this like clear plastic umbrella that I thought was the best thing ever because it was a dome and it went around my head, and I still have the badge that Father Christmas gave me that day, and we did the touristy thing a couple of times. We did like Madame Tussauds, and it just felt a bit weird because you got the train from Wilmington, it was 15 minutes in, and you're like, yeah, we're in London, and because it was so close, you didn't do a lot of that stuff, which sounds, I mean, how many times have we tourists where we live? That's such a big thing, isn't it? And I think we're all learning to do that more now because of the pandemic. But I definitely take London for granted now, definitely, just because it was always there.
Okie dokie. Right, number 5, Claire.
South African safari.
Ooh.
My brother did this for his honeymoon a couple of years ago, and it just looked amazing. It looked amazing. I have to admit, and obviously I don't want to get too political here, I do have a slight issue with zoos. I love seeing animals, and I love that, potentially you can get close up, but I don't know, the whole cages and stuff like that. I don't like it, whether they're bred in captivity or not. I think the way that my brother saw these incredible animals, he did have the whole, I'm just opening the patio door and, oh, look, there's a giraffe, and he's got videos of elephants and stuff. And it just looks amazing. And I think, you're with people who know what they're doing, who appreciate the animal. And I'm not saying people over here don't, but anyway, you know what I mean? I think South African safari, to see them in that environment, I think would just be amazing.
Absolutely.
Have you been to any other kind of safaris, or is it just
West Midlands safari?
Well,
I did. What did I do when I went to Barbados on netball tour? We did something there, but I can't actually remember what the animals were that we saw. That's awful. I just remember being in the big truck and the bloke was chucking us about and we all got incredibly muddy. But I can't remember what animals we saw. But no, I've never done anything like that, ever.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. Number 5 on the list. Neil, you're number 5.
Machu Picchu in Peru.
Nice.
I'd love to go. I'm not sure at my age I'd probably cope with all the walking that there is involved, apparently. You walk miles to get there. But I still think it looks amazing, and how old and everything, and what has been preserved, I think it would just be memorable to the hilt. Really would. So that'll be me.
That's the one with the pyramid kind of buildings, isn't it?
Up in the jungle, isn't it? Sort of comes out of the jungle up the mountain, and yeah, it's all sort of layered pyramids all the way up. Yeah.
Okay. History there, Neil. History.
Yeah.
Nice.
But like I said, I don't know whether I could cope with the walking there as far as...
Get one of the Breen Trampers.
Oh, yeah. There you go. I'll purposely take it. I'll look like the lady off of Benidorm buzzing around.
Yeah. Is that Magda?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
The fag in hand.
Oh dear. Right. I've said my number 5, which was Las Vegas. So Claire, you're number 4.
Napa. Ooh. I mean, again, we're going into the whole wine thing, and I mean, I know so much was devastated in the fires, which was just awful to see in that area. But Napa Valley, I just think I'd do well there. I think if I had millions, and I mean millions, I would buy some kind of vineyard there. But I spoke to a lady who lived near there. For some reason, she was over here on holiday. She got stuck in the pandemic, and I ended up interviewing her. And I said, is Napa everything that I'm hoping it to be? She was like, yeah, you need to come out. I was like, okay, I'll look you up, and I'll, come and stay can I stay for 3 months? Is that all right? So yeah, me and wine, I think we go hand in hand sometimes for the appreciation of it. And I think Napa's got to be up there for sure.
So do they do tours at like Napa Valley? Do they? So you can wander
I hope
around?
So. If not, I'll just let myself in.
Right. Isn't that where the film Sideways, where they went on the tour? Was that Napa Valley? Or am I wrong?
I've never seen Sideways. Because I was wondering whether, like, if they do tours, whether it's like Cadbury World, whether like every time you go out of a room, they give you like a glass of wine, and by the end,
I hope so.
Absolutely arsehole.
Where am I? I don't know.
I could just see it. I mean, I'm not a wine drinker, so I don't know. What is it about wine? What is it about wine?
I just find it incredible. Okay, I am really stupid when it, I say that I know a lot about wine. I don't, but I still find it amazing. All of that comes from grapes. Can we just appreciate grapes and sugar? You're whacking a bit of yeast or whatever, and you can have so many different varieties and flavors. And I love that whole idea of sitting down somewhere with a glass or a bottle of wine and you just watch the world go by. I'm such a people watcher. And I don't know, I love it. I absolutely love it.
And you've got a red or white, which is your...
Oh my God. I mean, we need to do a top 10 wine. I could do that. Now we've moved into autumn. I just begun shifting over to red because I'm a seasonal drinker.
Oh,
so
right.
it'll be red wine in the winter kind of months. And then, spring and summer, I'm on the white, and there's champers for sure. I sound like an alky. I'm not.
Okay, Claire. Neil, you're number 4.
It's Japan. It's a place that absolutely fascinates me because it's so different to our culture. And I just think I'd love to go and experience everything, the Tokyo, everything like that, back down to the mountains and seeing the countryside, right up to trialing and eating their weird cuisine. Sorry to call it weird, but a lot of it is. But I'd love to delve in and experience it all. So that fascinates me. To me, going to Tokyo would be like visiting the Blade Runner set.
Do you find a lot of that is influenced by movies and what you've seen? That's what I found with my list.
Yeah, some of it is. I mean, you'll see a running theme through my next 3. I've got a lot of fascination for Asia for some reason. It's a place I've always wanted to go, but never had the opportunity to get there. One day we will.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. My number 4 is Los Angeles.
Oh, nice.
I've always said that if I could choose like a career path, I would like to be a semi-successful actor living in Los Angeles. Not someone who's like massively famous, someone that gets enough work so that they can have somewhere to live and that they can be comfortable. And I've been to Los Angeles 3 times, and I get that feeling that it's like my kind of place. I don't know why. It's a really weird
Yeah.
city because it's so sprawled and stretched out that you have to have a car. You can't walk anywhere. The last time I went was when Neil and I took a business trip
We did.
to Los Angeles, which my wife still says it wasn't a business trip, but it was a business trip.
Of course it was.
It's one of those places that you just, I don't know whether I've ever felt like that anywhere else apart from Breen. So Los Angeles and Breen,
They're very
wow.
close, aren't they?
where you feel, you sort of walk around it, and I didn't feel like a tourist. I felt sort of this feels like it's a place that I would really enjoy living. I hear so many podcasts of people. I mean, everybody's leaving Los Angeles now. All the famous people are leaving Los Angeles and going to Texas. They're going to where Joe Rogan sort of lives now, all that kind of stuff, because I think for people it's not sustainable to live there if you're famous, with taxes and stuff like that. But yeah, that's one of the places that I think I could find myself if I was a semi-successful actor or musician or something like that.
I just really want them to twin Breen with Los Angeles.
That would be amazing.
Awesome.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Monday morning when I'm back on air, I'm like, right, campaign
Start
go.
that campaign, yeah. Absolutely.
I don't think Los Angeles was almost on my list because I'm like you in that I want to see the film sets and the TV show sets and all of that. I'm obsessed with all of that.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would do well because I think it would bring out the worst version. I would just be hunting down Lauren Graham for 10 days, trying to find her. Lorelei, where's Lorelei from Gilmore Girls? Where's Terry Hatcher? Does she still live here? And I would just become this stalker because I'd want to see them all because I believe they're my friends when actually they're not.
Yeah.
They don't know who I am.
Yeah. I remember going with my brother like decades ago, a few years ago, and when you're driving around and you go, oh my God, that's like the hill road from Lethal Weapon. That's the tunnel we've just been through from Back to the Future and Roger Rabbit, and it's the whole city is a movie set. So if you're a movie buff,
I'd love it.
So many bits and pieces. And then of course you've got the Museum of Death, which Neil and I went to the last time, which was fascinating. It was creepy but fascinating. Absolutely,
it was fascinating. I have to say my stomach started to churn by the end.
Yeah, I like when you come head face to face with a life-size cutout of Charles Manson. Yeah, that was a little bit
yeah, some of it was a bit too graphic,
just a little bit.
Maybe I'll skip that one.
Yeah.
It was interesting, and we got a great interview with the guy that ran the place. So
we did. Right, Claire, then you're number 3.
My number 3 is Antigua. Because I felt like I did need a Caribbean beachy. I want that. I think Neil said it earlier on. I do want that hut on stilts that's in the ocean, that you've got like a chute that goes down to the ocean and it's just clear, crystal blue, everything gorgeous and amazing. I'm a bit like Pav in that I quite like having things to do when I'm on holiday. However, one thing that lockdown 1 taught me is I can do quite well as a sunbather. I never thought I could.
Right.
But I think we all sometimes just need that ability to go, boom, I'm shutting down, I'm switching off, nothing works, and I'm just going to lie here. So that would be where I'd want to go for my beach holiday, chill out, come back with the most amazing tan.
Awesome. Absolutely,
that's lovely.
yes.
Absolutely. Go on then, Neil, you're number 3.
Staying on the Orient theme is China. I want to visit China. I'd like to see the Great Wall of China, the Terracotta Army, again, experience the mystical East, as they call it. And yeah, I think it's just a place of fascination.
I mean, you can see the Wall of China from space, Neil, if you wanted to.
Well, I'm not going there again for a while, so.
Yeah. or if, as Father Ted said, you can see the Great Wall of China from anywhere on the earth.
That's it.
That's what Father Ted.
Yeah.
So
but
China,
no, I just find
China
it a fascinating
over Japan
culture.
then, or are they equal?
Yeah.
Sorry?
China over Japan. If you had a choice of the two.
Well, I think I'd do Japan before China. Well, no, the other way around.
Yeah.
Because we're doing my top 10. Yeah, the reason I put China higher than Japan was because it's a vast country and there's so much difference between the whole place, whereas Japan's quite a small place and very crowded.
Can you use chopsticks?
Yeah, quite comfortably. Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
To be honest,
no asking for a fork from you.
no, to be honest, I was taught very well because when I was years ago, when I was down in London, my girlfriend's parents at that time was Chinese, and they owned a Chinese restaurant, funny enough, in Gerrard Street. And going to their family meal on the Sunday was the most bizarre thing because I think I was the only one that spoke English apart from my girlfriend at the time. But they taught me how to use chopsticks and how to hold the bowl up when you're eating and things like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was quite sweet.
Cool.
Didn't last very long, the relationship, because I was hoping I'd get a holiday out of it. But hey ho.
Goodness
You
me.
smooth man.
I know.
Well,
What a smoothie. But you got some chicken chow mein out of it. So, I mean,
I swear we were eating things that weren't
I hope
on
that's
the
not a
menu.
euphemism.
I'll tell all.
It probably is the way
money.
Neil does it, Claire. Okay, right. My number 3 is San Rafael, California. A lot of people wouldn't know where that is, but then if I say that it's where Skywalker Ranch is,
Right.
it's a place that I would love to go. We sort of had a chance of going if we ever found ourselves in San Francisco because we knew somebody that worked there, didn't we, Neil? I don't think he works there anymore, bless him. But I think it's one of those places that I would literally be like a kid in a candy store if I was walking around the vaults of Skywalker, or just outside Skywalker Ranch where you've got the Yoda fountain and stuff. I'll go on to one of my other ones where I can get emotional about Star Wars and things. And I think it's just one of those places that has been the birthplace of so many things that are special in my life, that I think it's one of those places that I would just love to, even if it was just an hour, even if you could just like nick an hour there or something, it would be
Do you know, I have this
unbelievable.
picture of you, Pav, bouncing around there like Homer in the chocolate factory. Do you remember how he was
Yeah,
that's how I sort of picture you going around.
I go,
Oh, bless.
oh dear.
Yeah.
Right, okay, Claire, you're number 2.
Hey, my number 2 is Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And this is where I get a bit geeky. Wilmington is quite a popular shoot location for TV shows. And when I was younger, I was the generation that was in love with Dawson's Creek. And later on, it was also the place where One Tree Hill was filmed. And they have got to be, I think, from my kind of younger years, 2 of my favorite shows that, you know, we've all got those shows or films that we kind of identified with on some levels, but then also it was the cult of that generation. Dawson's Creek was one of mine. One Tree Hill was one of mine. I'm actually rewatching One Tree Hill at the minute. And Wilmington, they always talk about Wilmington being this kind of just lovely place. And it's almost weird that then these big, massive TV shows just descend on it, take over the entire place. But you can always spot a Wilmington shot because the beaches that they've got have those like really tall reeds. So everywhere that you see that, and when I was young, I'd be like, that's Wilmington, that's Wilmington. So that would be one of the places I'd want to go to just because it would take me back to those TV shows, which like it was my company when I was younger. And I remember, you know, if you're sad or whatever, and you'd whack on an episode of One Tree Hill and it'd just be a bit of comfort as well. So yeah, I'd want to go there. So
again, do you know if they do tours around?
Probably. I mean, I think if they don't, it'd be stupid not to, because you could cash in.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, you have the Sex and the City tours in New York, whether or not you can do that. But to see Dawson Leary's house and where Joey used to go over the creek, and yeah, I'd love to see all of that.
See Screech's house.
They weren't there. Screech was Saved by the Bell.
Oh,
they were. That would have been LA.
I've let myself
get it right.
I've let myself down. Let myself. Anyway, moving on. Neil, you're number 2. Quick,
so
let's move on.
It's still there, and I've clumped these all together because quite often when you do this holiday, you do the 3 together, and that's Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia.
Yeah.
Vietnam and Cambodia for obvious reasons. The history. I know I know many people that have been to like the killing fields and said it's very depressing, but it still doesn't stop me not wanting to go. I just want to see it. And Thailand, obviously, for the lady boys. No, I jest.
Which is a drink, obviously, isn't it?
Yeah, I
It's
jest. Hey, they're on tour at the moment, aren't they? So
yeah, they are.
the lady boys of Thailand.
Oh dear, there's another demographic that we've lost as listeners. There we go.
But no, to be honest, Thailand, I'm not so interested in like Bangkok and things like that and doing all that sort of seedy stuff. That's not for me. I think the Phuket and places like that look stunning. And I've also been told North Thailand, where they still get the tigers and everything like that up there, and you can go and do sort of safaris, looks amazing. And that's the Thailand I'd like to see, not the Bangkok thing.
Okay, you're right.
Why am I just thinking ping pong balls? I hate it. Why? We all are. Let's be honest. We're all thinking it.
Because that's what Neil does to you, Claire. He infests your mind with these thoughts because he has to say things like Bangkok and stuff like that.
Well, nice to see you lads haven't changed.
Yes, we have not grown at all.
I really can't.
Okay.
Wasn't it your brother, Pav, that went on a world tour?
He did, yes.
And he went to Thailand.
Yes, my brother is Elton John. He did.
Yeah.
He went on a world tour. Yeah, and he's taking a break though at the moment.
He did, and he went to Thailand, and they decided to go to one of those bars that do all of this, only to sit near the front, he said, and get pinged on the head by not a ping pong ball but a banana,
right,
which fell into his drink.
Amazingly, he never shared that anecdote last Christmas. So so I'll have to ask him.
Waiting on that one.
I'll have to ask him about that. Okay, my number 2 is very family orientated, but it's Disney World Magic Kingdom. I could walk around Disney World Magic Kingdom literally for days because, and I know it's all money, and I know it's all capitalism to the hilt, but it genuinely is the happiest place on earth. I don't think it's not a ruse. It genuinely is. You can walk around there feeling very depressed, and within 2 minutes you feel nothing but joy and happiness. Even Disneyland Paris, we went there a few years ago just before Christmas, and I was literally in tears every time we walked down Main Street, because every sort of 2 minutes fake snow would start falling and they would be playing Christmas music. It was beautiful, it really was. But Disney World Magic Kingdom has, I think I've been twice now. It is genuinely a magical place, and it doesn't matter whether you've got kids, whether you haven't got kids, just walking around there, going on the rides, just soaking in the fact that everybody there is happy and everybody there is having fun. It is just a beautiful place. It really is. And obviously they make millions and billions and stuff, but that's beside the point. And to the point that you can queue up for a couple of hours for a ride and not get pissed off that you're queuing up for a couple of hours.
I was going to ask you, does it take ages to go on rides?
Well, we waited for, I think it was the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs minecart ride or whatever, and it was 2.5 hours we were waiting. But there are so many things that's going on while you're waiting and while you're snaking around that it doesn't matter, you know. And I think as long as you go in, you either go in to look at everything or you go in to go on rides. And if you go on rides, you know you're going to queue up. So you just go in with that mentality, and I love it. I do. I'm a sucker for those kind of things. So that's my number 2. Right, before we do our number 1s, let's count down our 10 to 2. So, Claire, would you like to count down your 10 to 2 in your best radio voice?
Certainly. Thank you very much, Pav. In at number 10, we have Sancerre, then to New Zealand, the Northern Lights, Nashville, Scottish Highlands, South African Safari, Napa, Antigua. And why can't I say it? Antigua.
Yeah, that's right.
Antigua. That's right, isn't it?
Antigua. Aruba,
funnily enough,
Jamaica.
I want to take it to Bermuda. Anyway, and then Wilmington, North Carolina.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
Neil, you're 10 to 2.
Here we go. So 10 Fiji, 9 Brazil, number 8 Sri Lanka Gal National Park Resort. Say that was a big mouthful, wasn't it? 7 Canada, 6 Las Vegas, 5 Machu Picchu in Peru, 4 Japan, 3 China, 2 Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia.
Thank you, Neil. My 10 is anywhere with a hot tub. 9 is Breen. I can't believe no one else has got Breen. I honestly don't believe that.
Forgot that
8
one.
is New York. 7 Hawaii. 6 London. 5 Las Vegas. 4 Los Angeles. 3 San Rafael, California, Skywalker Ranch, and 2 Disney World Magic Kingdom. So Claire, what is your number 1 dream holiday destination?
For years, and people that know me will be really surprised that I've picked this, but I've picked it for many reasons. For some reason, for years and years and years and years, I have been fascinated with Alaska.
Ooh.
And I think the facts of Alaska in terms of how much daylight they get, and obviously not to mention the amazing landscape, even though I think it would terrify me, I would love to see the bears, and I just think it's a stunning place. But people will know me, and they will all know me for hating snow. I hate snow because in my job, when it snows, everybody gets a snow day or everybody has fun. They're all being, no, I'm in work. Everything's gone to shit because all of the roads are rubbish. Everything falls apart, and it makes our job 10 times harder. And so I've just always hated snow, and I've said say no to snow. So I think actually for me, I need to fall in love with snow again, and I think Alaska would do it. And I don't actually mind being cold. And I think also as well, it's so much easier. I think winter clothes on holiday are far easier than summer clothes in terms of what you've got to pack, how you look. And I've always wanted to go to Alaska, always.
Awesome.
Well, the other thing is, like, it's always easier to get yourself warm than it is to get yourself
exactly
cool. I've always found.
So if there are any Alaskians
have you ever seen the film or watched the or read the book of Into the Wild?
So no, I thought you were going to say the film Alaska then, which is a children's film about 2 kids that go and search for their dad whose planes crashed on the side of a mountain and they meet a polar bear. But no, I've not seen Into the Wild, but I've heard of it.
I would highly recommend it. It's a true story of the guy that gave up his 9-to-5 job, money and everything, and just lived in a bus in Alaska.
Oh, and haven't they now had to remove the bus because so many people got in trouble and almost died trying to find it? I have seen that. Forgive me, I have seen that.
It's an awesome movie. But there you go. If that bus was still there, that could have been your ideal holiday.
Yeah.
So if you don't hear from me on the radio again, it's because I've hightailed it over there.
Yeah.
That film is Screeching it.
Yeah.
You do realise Dustin Diamond died.
I know, he passed away. Bless him. Bless him. Yeah. Rest in peace, Screech.
There you go.
Yeah. I did know that, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
But he was the funniest one on that show.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, he was the one that they were laughed at.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
so Claire has Alaska for number 1. Neil, what's your number 1?
I don't think it'll be too much of a surprise to you, Pav, but Galaxy's Edge, Disney, Florida. I want to go and see it. You've been to see it, you bastard. You never took me on a business trip there. Well, no. Is
this something to do with Star Wars?
It is. Galaxy's Edge is basically the theme park, Star Wars theme park. It looks amazing. Everything Pav showed me looks amazing, and it's high up on my list to do myself. So, yeah, that's where I want to go. That's my number 1 destination. It will be fulfilled.
It will. My number 1 is Galaxy's Edge. It had to be. I've anyone that has seen the video, my wife took a video of the whole trip 2 years ago. It's almost 2 years to the day that we record this that we went to Florida, and it was hit and miss whether we were going to be able to go when Galaxy's Edge. I think Galaxy's Edge had been opened for about 2 or 3 weeks when we went. So we were very lucky. That was a holiday where so many things sort of fell into place perfectly. I've been watching loads of videos from all these vloggers that showed Galaxy's Edge, and I thought, oh my God, when I see the Millennium Falcon, there is a full-size Millennium Falcon there, Claire. When I mean full-size, you know what the Millennium Falcon is, don't you?
Yes, that I do.
Right. Do you? Are you just saying that to please?
The Millennium Falcon is the thing that basically just, I think, looks like a projector. And Steve Nibbs, who you know from Points West, he's in the middle of building one.
Right. Yes. So I knew that was there. And it basically what it is, it's a place called Batu. So when you go through the gate, don't laugh, Claire. I mean, I'm serious about this. When you go through the gates, you are on Batu. So everybody that works there, they're not working for Disney. They are they're doing their jobs in Batu. So when you see someone, you say bright suns. That's their way of saying hello. And they stay in character all the time. They stay in character.
So they've been forced into a cult. That's what you're saying. They're living
all.
Against their will on Batu.
Not at all. No, they just happen to live on Batu when you go in there. Right. And my wife, I think my daughter took the video as well of me coming to the arch when you go walking in. And
did you cry?
I absolutely lost it. I absolutely lost it. And I've never felt emotion like that before. It was like it all pent up because I wanted to go there so long. And the fact that I was actually standing in the gateway now, walking into it, I knew I was going to cry when I saw the Millennium Falcon because it's built in my DNA regarding being a Star Wars fan that you're seeing something that's real in front of you. To go into that, to just walk through that archway, I look at it now and I think and my dad's looking at me while this is going on, looking at me going, what are you doing, you idiot? Like, why are you crying?
But actually, do you know what? I think that's probably how I would feel if I ever went to Stars Hollow, which was the location where the Gilmore Girls was set. I mean, it's an LA set. It's on the Universal Studios or whatever. But this magical place called Stars Hollow, you're like, I want to go there. I'd probably cry. So yeah, good for you.
Yeah, it was. I've never had that feeling since. And I ended up,
even when your grandchild was born.
I mean, that's different. That's a different kind of emotion. I feel. I think I cried when that happened.
Now you can see where I went. Why I want to go there.
I did, yeah. And it is for somebody that is a Star Wars fan. I would say. I mean, my wife walked around with me for half a day, around it, and sort of I'm done. I've seen everything now. I ended up spending, I think, 2 full days. I'll tell you what I did, Claire, which was absolutely stupid. I ended up paying for a night at a Disney hotel just so that I could get in there early the following day.
How much did that cost you?
I can't say because my wife might watch this and listen to this. But that was on my own. My wife didn't want to come, so I ended up then going and spending the following day. And spent the day. I went on the Millennium Falcon ride like 6 times, and I ended up sitting next to the Millennium Falcon as the sun was going down, and I've got photos of that. And it was just I just sat there for like an hour and a half, just enjoying. It is a beautiful place, and anybody.
I'm amazed Neil is still talking to you if you've been there without him.
No, of course I am. We could have had a business trip, but things happened, and the country shut down. I'll give him that excuse.
Very cool.
I mean, you're going to go when you're 50, aren't you, Neil?
Apparently,
that's going to be part of your thing.
Yeah, it probably won't be when I'm 50 next year. It'll probably have to be the year after or whatever. Let things calm down. But
if you don't take me, I'll never speak to you again.
No, that'll be my. No, I'm going on my own.
Yeah, I think you should.
I will be FaceTiming you all the time.
Oh dear. Right, we had some honourable mentions as well. So Stacey said, "I've never had a chance to travel abroad. I would love to see England, especially London."
Hooray!
There you go. Sean Robbins, his top 10 was Puerto Rico. Is that right? Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, yeah.
Brazil, the Maldives, Korea, Vietnam, Australia, Mexico, Spain, England, and Japan. This was his number 1. Tim Wainwright said Zante. I absolutely love it there. Love to go to New York. Never been there.
Oh, go.
Yeah, I would say definitely. I don't. Yeah. Kenya as well. He said to fish on the River Nile has always been a dream. And Australia to see my cousin in Mackay. Okay. Helena White said Niagara Falls, Egypt, Paris, Florida, Galaxy's Edge, Iceland, Northern Lights.
Yeah.
New York, Amalfi Coast, Safari in Kenya, and Giraffe Manor in Kenya. Ooh.
Nice.
And Laura Gollop said, I've always wanted to go to Thailand. No, not for the lady boys neither. So there you go.
There we are.
So there we go. So Claire, tell us a little bit more about the music, because I've seen some of your stuff with young Nibsy, and I have to say, what a set of lungs you got.
Wow.
I mean, I'm talking about your voice now, obviously.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I'm actually not the best swimmer. No, so Swimming with Alice was born kind of by accident about 10 years ago when I sang with Nibsy for a friend's wedding. I was a bridesmaid. And kind of as a joke, but also as something a bit different, Nibsy's band was playing the wedding. He said, well, why don't you get up and do a song? I'd never sung in public. I don't class myself as a musician at all. I just love music. Anyway, we had such a blast doing it. And Nibsy said, well, should we kind of do more together as a duo? We gig roughly once every 4 years, I think. We don't, it is really it's just a fun collaboration. But over the years, we've, started writing our own tunes. And so if there are any pub owners listening around the Gloucestershire or Somerset area, then give us a call. And we don't have a number. Look us up, Swimming with Alice. Online. We got some videos on YouTube as well. But yeah, it was great fun. We had another gig for charity a couple of weeks ago at a friend's shed, which is the most amazing place ever. And yeah, friends turned out, people came to see it, and we raised about £1,200, which was fab.
Well,
so yeah,
awesome.
we just love it. And Nibs is such a good friend, and we have a laugh, and that's the important thing.
So have you got a Facebook page and stuff like that, have you?
He's going to kill me for not knowing all of this. Do we have a Facebook page?
Or you've got a YouTube channel? You got a YouTube channel, or just
look up Swimming with Alice on YouTube, and we've got the shed sessions in there, so you can actually see inside the shed as well, where we recorded. We're on Instagram as well, so just search for Swimming with Alice.
I'll put the links in the show notes of the podcast, so then at least people can just click.
He'll love that.
Straight on it. Well, Claire, it's been, what can I say? It's just like old times.
Isn't it? Honestly, it feels like no time has passed at all. It's so lovely to see you both, and just congrats on all that you do. I love your podcast, and you're such great fun as well, so keep going.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Right then, Neil, do you want to do your bit?
Here we go then. Of course I will.
As Jennifer Aniston says.
Yeah, right. There we go. You can find us on all social media at toptenpods. That's TOPTEN pods. Email us at toptenpods@hotmail.com. Come and help support the podcast at patreon.com/top10pods, where you can get rewards such as our episodes super early, bonus episodes, behind the scenes videos, and even a chance to be a guest on your very own episode. And then check out all of our links via the link tree. You can find the link in the show notes. And please, please, please come and subscribe and leave us a rating review on Apple Podcasts, or subscribe and follow on Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your damn podcast from.
Beautifully done, Neil.
Thank you.
You're getting better at that every week. It's amazing.
Anyone really is.
It really is. So that's it. We've done our top 10s. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening and for watching on YouTube. It just leaves me to say thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you very much, Pab. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you, Claire.
Thank you, guys.
And let's start the countdown.